Junior year of college. I take a class on social entrepreneurship because some of my friends said good things about it. Social entrepreneurship is basically starting a business, but with a for good mission, or maybe a nonprofit that still manages to make some revenue. The class was great. The professor described it as being like business school compressed into one term and with a focus on nonprofits, and it didn't disappoint. I liked the class so much that I decided to take the next one. Only this class wasn't just learning, it was actually putting your skills to use and starting something. I didn't really know what I was going to do, but I was running a Tech for Good club, and I thought it could be something more. So I made that my project. I came up with a logo, a name, a business plan, got a group of friends to help me with it. We started reaching out to other schools to get new chapters of the organization set up. The nonprofit never really took off, but it still set me on the path to be working in Tech for Good full-time. Without that class, I might just be working at a generic big tech company. There was a ton of other wisdom in that class that I've tried to carry with me. A common theme was not to put yourself in a box, not to limit yourself, to instead take the uncomfortable step that might get you somewhere. Cold emailing people, putting yourself out there, asking for what you need. After all, as the professor would say, if you don't ask, they can't tell you yes. I think the reason my professor encouraged us to get out of our comfort zones and do big things is because if you want to solve big problems in the world, you can't do that when being comfortable. You can't do that without putting yourself out there and hearing no a lot, but still staying convinced that your idea was good so you can keep bringing others on board. One part of nonprofit business planning that we learned about was called the BHAG, an acronym for the Big, Hairy, Audacious Goal. That means if everything goes well, what change could you make in the world 10 years from now? How many lives could you save? What policies could you get into place? Who could you help feel safe in their own skin, in their own community? What part of the interconnected web of existence could you help repair? Whose inherent worth and dignity would finally be recognized without question? And that's important. It's important to ask big questions, to imagine that you can make the world a better place in a big way. Because if you can't imagine it, then what chance do you have of actually doing it? Especially when the problems are so big that any rational person would say it was impossible to solve, it's unrealistic, you should just quit. Since then, I've continued to try to make the world a better place with my career, doing some work in healthcare, government, politics. I haven't always succeeded, but I have done some good. And there's a good chance that the reason for a lot of that good was because 15 years ago, one of my teachers told me to imagine that I could do something big.